All right, welcome back to Experience Distilled. John Little and I have teamed up to help distillers navigate the current headwinds. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about distillery conferences. There's many different places to go and learn and get some exposure. So, John and I are actually planning on being at several of the conferences this year. So, let's go through them. John, we're not going to be at WSWA, that's the Wine and Spirits Wholesalers of America, but why should a craft distiller think about going there next year?
Yeah, it's not right for us at this point in time. It'd be nice to see some friends, right? Catch up with some distributors. Craft distillers, I think you probably need to establish some distribution in your own home market, right? Which really doesn't need WSWA for, right? Wine and Spirits Wholesalers of America don't really need that when you're starting off. It's best if you have your home market, maybe some adjacent home markets or a market that you're already, that you're going into because you have some connection. Maybe you've got family in North Carolina. Maybe you've got family or friends or some business in New York. You can go there and find the distributor. Once you've outgrown that and you're looking for, some more growth, you think you've established already, you have some good velocity, some good metrics in your starting markets, and you're looking to grow. That's the time to go to WSWA. That's the time to go out there and branch out and see if you can find some distributors who would bring you into the portfolio, who would help you out, help you grow your business. That's what I think about WSWA. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that, for me, I like to go and see all the craft distilleries, on the floor, see what's hot, see what people are displaying, see what people are making, kind of just see where the market's at. I see lots of canned RTDs, I see a lot of tequila brands on the floor. So it's really interesting to me to kind of see where the market's at. And I'm seeing few and far distributors actually walking the floor. So it's kind of a hit and miss if you're going to pay that kind of money just, to be there and pay all that money. But we won't be there this year, but maybe next year. All right, next one, March 3rd to the 5th, Discus. That's the Distilled Spirits Council of the U.S. It's in Louisville. We're going to be there. John, what are you excited about at Discus?
You're going to be there.
Oh,
I'm
I'm going
not
to
going
be
to make
there.
that's right. I'm not going to be at the discus event. You're going to be there. Tell
I'm
me
going to be at
why
the
you're
Discus
going.
event. Yeah, so Discus is where large and small distillers. Discus has represents some of the largest distilleries in the United States, and they also have a craft membership as well. So they go and they meet and they talk about issues du jour. There's a vendor expo where large and small distillers can go and talk to vendors. Um, and it's kind of like issues du jour that affect the distilled spirits industry, large and small. So I'll be there. If anyone's going to be there, definitely say hi. All right, so let's move on to the James B. Beam Conference in Lexington, Kentucky. That for sure we're both going to be there. What are you excited
Correct.
about?
I'm excited because it's my first time.
Oh,
Uh,
that's
I,
right.
I've never been to the James B. Beam conference. Everybody that I know and respect who has been to the conference loves it, thinks it's really great for education, great for networking. Sometimes just, I mean, I say networking, I mean actually getting something done. Sometimes I just mean it as catching up. So it's close by, which I don't know why I've never been. It's really hasn't worked out in my schedule. And then shame on me for not making it work. But really excited about going because it's my first time. Can't wait to see lots of people there. Yeah, really excited. What about you?
Yeah, I've been there 3 or 4 times. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite
Wow.
conferences. You're going to be standing in the lunch line next to Harlan Wheatley, the master distiller at Buffalo Trace. You're going to be saying next to, distillery supervisors from Wild Turkey, right? You're going to be standing next to craft distillers, right? It's just we're all there and we're all there to learn, and it's a very academic focused. So you're gonna watch the most scientific explanations of yeast propagation and fermentation and conversion, and then you're going to have people talking about transportation, logistic issues. So it's truly, as it's housed at the University of Kentucky, it's definitely academic based and learning based, and yeah, I'm excited. It'll be
You know,
good.
I'm that's one of the things I love about the business. A little sidetrack there. I really do love the fact that big and small, no matter how big your facility is, no matter how small you are, you know, just how close everybody is, certainly on the production side of things, and how wonderful everybody in our community is. One of the things I love is always seeing the same equipment, right? Whether you're making, especially as it comes to like refractometers, for instance. You get a little refractometer, the same one that you use in your tiny little distillery and 650-gallon pot still is the same one they're using at Hiram Walker, for instance. So it's really, really nice to see those. I know it's small. That's a little small thing, but I always find that kind of heartwarming that big and small alike, where you all share this same bond in the industry. I can't wait
Yeah.
to see that at Beam.
They don't actually need all the money, and they actually limit the number of vendors that could be there. I remember asking them, "Can we add more vendors?" And they're like, "Meh, we filled up the conference center. We filled up the ballroom. That's good enough." So
That's right.
it's like a totally different mindset, right? They're not necessarily there to make money. They're there to talk about their Beam Institute, their research arm, issues of the industry, and it's really great. All right, so that's mid-March. Then jump to mid-April, American Craft Spirits Association, April 16th through the 19th, and we're both going to be there. What are you excited about?
Oh, wow. I'm excited about doing some business with hopefully with some distiller friends of ours there. ACSA and I know we're going to talk about it in a minute, but ADI have both been a little bit like homecomings for us. Certainly, yeah, I know it's a really wonderful thing to back up and go to Beam, but um, certainly ACSA and ADI are a little bit more, have been a little bit more my speed so far, right? I just felt comfortable maybe again, amongst my peers. Um, and so really excited about seeing some folks, doing some business with some people that we've done business with before, seeing some vendors. I still, although I'm not in the market to buy equipment or much, maybe some bottling equipment these days, some blending tanks. It's really nice to see everything that's new and just to hear about what's going on in the industry.
Yeah.
You?
Every craft distiller needs to go to at least ACSA or ADI. My preference is, well, I don't have really a preference at this point. It's just one of them is going to be in Sacramento, California. One of them is going to be in Miami. You and I are going to both. So, if you're West Coast, you're East Coast, kind of make a choice. But this really gets into the heart of what the issues are for craft distillers today. What problems do you need help solving? It's your peers that are teaching valuable lessons that they have learned in the last 10 or 15 years. If you're starting up, these are must attend conferences. And the vendor expos at these are ginormous, right? You could walk the floor at ACSA or ADI and buy everything you need in like, 20 minutes. Um, so that's it. So ACSA is April 16th through the 19th in Sacramento, California. We'll be there. So if you guys are going to be there, definitely stop by and say hi. And then that jumps to all the way to August 18th through the 19th. We've got the American Distilling Institute, definitely the largest craft distillery conference for sure. Um, I think they have more attendees and they have more vendors than ACSA, but in terms of learning and education, their values are very similar. Yeah, ADI, like you said, it's homecoming. I like to think
Right.
of it as like the TV show Cheers, right? Where everyone knows your name, right? You walk in and it's your friends that you've seen for the last 10, 15 years, right? Um, but yeah, we're gonna be there at ADI and come by and say hi. We'll be walking around. We'll have barrels to sell. We'll have you know, services or consulting that if you need any help or anything, John and I are here to help you. Any other
You,
thoughts
you
on
know,
ADI?
yeah, that's what I was going to say is, we talk about it and it is like homecoming. It is a wonderful feeling. It is like walking into the bar, right, where everybody knows your name. That's not to say it doesn't provide educational value, right? Every single time I'm at one of these events, I'm learning something. And whether that's from your friends who you're having, sitting around and having drinks with after the day is over, whether that's at a booth and you see some new equipment or whether that's at one of the many seminars. I think if you don't just stand around and talk the whole time, if you actually have a very focused calendar, a very focused agenda, then you can learn a lot at all of these conferences. So I'm excited about going to every single one of them, maybe for a little bit of different reasons.
Yeah, I think, I live in Orlando, so Miami, I'm excited. I actually get to drive to a distillery conference for the first time, so I'm really excited. But
Right.
yeah, all right. Well, that's it for today. Tune into our next episode. But hopefully as we travel around the country in 2026, come by and say hi. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.